Welcome back everyone, this is our last update video. After this we can return to making the full guides. Again, these were just to provide updates regarding changes that could affect any information that someone might find in the basics guide videos. That being said, we're looking at Julia in this video. This should be a more fun video than the last couple since there's a more to talk about with the Julia changes, so let's get to it. A couple minor changes to get out of the way. First, there was a bug with doing down, down, forward where you would not get a low parry. I was actually unaware that this was a thing, so I'm glad that they fixed it. It's likely related to her down, down, forward 1, but there's no reason that she shouldn't get a low parry when she inputs this, so that's a good fix. Next, sidestep 3+4 got a consistency fix so that you shouldn't get a side switch anymore, or at least not as often. If you've ever watched Julia for any length of time, you've no doubt seen this happen, so hopefully it shouldn't anymore. Counter hit while standing 3 now leaves you closer, so this is another consistency change to help your follow-up attack a little bit. Nothing real game changing there, I don't think either. Last for the minor changes, back 3 was nerfed again. This time they changed the animation and hurt box to make it a bit easier to punish with mid-air attacks. You can very much see how she doesn't drop quite as low anymore. You'll recall that this got a pushback nerf a while back, so clearly Namco is just ensuring that this can be punished more reliably, which I think is fair. Okay, now to some more moderate stuff. To start, the shotgun combo now recovers 5 frames faster on hit. Perhaps there's a secret use for this that I don't see right away, but it looks like they're just allowing you to go on offense a bit sooner, which is always nice. On the flip side of that, back 1+2 now recovers 1 frame slower on hit. This doesn't seem to affect combos, thankfully, but the bigger changes on back 1+2 are that it is now -14 on block instead of -13, and has reduced pushback, so it makes it easier to punish. This does suck for Julia, but at the same time, it does bring the move in line with all her other -14 moves. Similarly, while standing 4 got some interesting frame changes. It's -12 instead of -15, but it also does less damage. This seems like a net 0 change because on the one hand, you're getting less damage when it lands, which is important for guaranteed situations like block punishes, but you're also way more safe in those moments where you mess something up and it gets blocked. An important change, but I don't know if it changes matchups in the long term. More frame changes, back 4 is now -2 on block instead of +1. I think this is a sizable nerf, but somewhat similar to how they nerfed Paul's Sway 4. Paul's, however, is still plus on block, just not as much. -2 still gives you counter hit opportunities, but losing that +1 sucks quite a bit. That being said, her new move, forward forward 4, seems to be a pseudo replacement for this. It's not homing, although the forward forward input helps with that, but it is a chunky high that gives +2 on block and a free forward forward 2 on hit. Far less pushback than while running 1, so seems pretty good. Also, forward 1+2 is now -9. It was -7 before, so your turn was still over on block, but it's now definitely over. Even worse, it now does 23 damage instead of 27. Still, it's a quick, safe mid wall bounce, so these seem kind of fair to be honest. Back to some buffs, the forward 3 air grab now does 5 points more damage. This doesn't translate into a full 5 points since it's always going to get scaled. However, this feels like an important change because while running 2-1 received a substantial nerf in how far it sends people flying in combos. This might be her most important change depending on who you talk to. Her wall carry is still good thanks to the elbow and shotgun juggles, but if you play Julia, you're going to feel this one a lot. Next, another very sad nerf. Sidestep 4 is now 0 on hit instead of +3. This is kind of a head scratcher. Julia didn't have many plus on hit lows to begin with, so taking one away kind of sucks, and Sidestep 4 didn't seem overpowered or anything, so it's somewhat odd that they decided to nerf this. In any case, the last set of changes we'll talk about revolve around some changes to moves involving her full crouch game. It's a mixed bag, so we'll start with bow and arrow, which got a damage nerf on the second hit, down 3 points, so it now does less than 30 total, including both hits. Another sad change there since it wasn't made any safer or anything like that. But we'll close out with 2 positive changes. Sidestep 2 now leaves you closer on hits, so you shouldn't have to worry about something like bow and arrow whiffing. Sidestep 2 is also still +3, so perhaps the Sidestep 4 nerf was to get Julia players to use more of this. And finally, another new move, kind of, forward 4-1 can now be canceled into full crouch by holding down. This is pretty sick actually. The cancel happens really late, so it's really hard to react to. And so long as a wall isn't involved, I think punishing with forward 4-1 but doing the cancel might be worth it in the long run if you feel like your reads are up to snuff. And now we are at the end of the video. Again, this is the last of the Season 4 updates, unless we get some Patreon requests or something along those lines. I start my last study blitz this weekend for my final certification exam, which is on December 21st. So I will be working on the next character guide, but it might be a bit since I have to focus on studying. Still, you should definitely stick around for that, and don't forget to like and subscribe here on YouTube. I also try to stream whenever I can, so the link to Twitch is down in the video description below. You'll also, of course, find Twitter and Facebook links down there as well. Lastly, consideration for the Patreon is greatly appreciated. Patreon is definitely the best way to support your favorite content creators. As always, much love to our two patrons, Tato and EDM. Their support goes a long way. And thanks to all of you for checking out this video and all of the Season 4 update videos. We hope that you've enjoyed them, and we'll see you very shortly for some full basics guides.